Righto, so here's the board. I've preset it into the test mode, which is only 10 seconds for time off, or for time out, and 5 seconds between re-triggering, so that we can play with it without having to wait too long. So we've got a green LED here, which is going to indicate the power, and the photocell, which is one of two, and a beeper, which is connected across the normally open switch to ground contact to operate the gate. So as the sun comes up and the day gets brighter, okay, the light comes on. When it gets dark again, it will stay on until the timeout's expired. So at the moment that's set for 10 seconds. So it'll get dark and then the light should go out again. Now, as the sun comes up, there we go. There's a short period it has to stay bright. So if it goes dark and we get bright and dark and bright and dark, it will stay off until it gets above the mean required minimum brightness, and then it'll stay on. So let's assume that it's now night time and a car's pulled up. When a car pulls up with its headlights on low beam, and then we flash the headlights 3 times at about 1 second. So 1, 2, 3, and there goes the beeper. 1 second pulse to trigger the gate. Again, now that would normally be set for a 5-minute time so that it won't re-trigger. If the flashing is too quick, like police car or whatever, does nothing. If it's flashing very slowly, it does nothing. But if it's between about a half a second and 1 second, or between about half a second and 1.5 seconds, we get a pulse. To set the ambient light level, there's a pair of contact pins at the back of the board that just need to be bridged, and that will set the ambient light level for dusk. So just touch those for 1 second, and it's now relearned that as the brightness, so it will be require a much brighter light before it will say it's bright. So as you can see, it's not triggering at the same point. It needs quite a lot more light than it did because I've reset the threshold. Okay, and there we go, we're back on. And that's stored in non-volatile memory, so power off and back on, and away it goes. The switching element, which is this FET here, is a 60 volt 50 amp FET. Obviously hasn't got enough heatsink to be able to handle 50 amps, but handling your 2 or 3 amps is fine. And that switches the high side, so across these 2 pins, that's ground and plus, so that would go out to your controller. Then we've got ground and normally open collector that switches to ground to operate the gate, and these 2 pins go to the 2 LDRs. And we've got 2 pins here which are ground and power at the back, and the setup pins which just set the brightness threshold. That look about what you're looking for, John? Let me know.